Hi, I'm Elisabeth McClure from Georgetown University, and I'm here at the 26th Annual APS Convention in San Francisco, California. And I'm presenting some research on a poster that my colleagues and I are calling Let Skype Video Chat Use Among Infants and Toddlers. So what we were interested in is whether children under the age of 2 are being exposed to video chat like Skype or FaceTime. The American Academy of Pediatrics recommends that children under 2 years of age avoid screen media use entirely, but we know that children in this age range, many children in this age range, are actually exposed to about 2 hours of screen media use daily. So what we're interested in is whether children are actually exposed to video chat, because this hasn't been looked at in the nationally representative surveys of childhood media use. So we developed our own online survey and distributed it to families who had children between the ages of 6 and 24 months. We had 113 families respond and complete the survey, and about half of those were responding about their female infants, so we had a nice sample of both males and females. We also had a nice age range between 6 and 24 months, with all months represented, and the mean age was 16 months. So what we found was that 90% of families reported that they do use video chat with their infants under 2, and 43% said that they use it at least once a week. So already this is really interesting, because we're seeing that there's a significant source of media exposure that's been previously unreported in these big surveys. Second, we found that video chat is the primary mode of remote communication for toddlers. Only 48% reported that they used voice-only telephones and other traditional voice-only methods for communication remotely, which makes sense when you think about the fact that children under 2 years of age don't have a lot of vocabulary, and their communicative development isn't far enough along to really be able to use phones. We also found that mothers were the ones who were most often physically present with their children during video chat, and that grandparents were the ones that they were usually contacting using video chat. So there are a couple of really interesting takeaways from this project. The first and foremost, I think, is that there is a significant source of media exposure in video chat that's been previously unreported, and I think it's really important for us to really explore that further. Second, parents are spontaneously reported that they were generally somewhat restrictive about what media use they allowed for their children under 2, but that they saw video chat as an exception to those media use guidelines. And I think that would be interesting to follow up on a little bit more, especially because of the AAP recommendation. Also, many parents emphasized the importance of seeing in their choice to use video chat. So they thought it was really important that the grandparents be able to see the child, and that the child ultimately be able to recognize by seeing their grandparents over time in video chat. So future directions, I think the nationally representative surveys of childhood media use really do need to add these questions about video chat into their surveys, so that we have a better, more representative idea of how often children are using it. Home observations of natural interactions by video chat, I think, would be important to follow up on, so we know what those are looking like and what sorts of activities and methods the families are using to make this an engaging activity for their children. Also, controlled laboratory experiments testing how well infants are actually able to engage in mediated interactions like this, as opposed to face-to-face ones, and also the developmental implications for this kind of media exposure for them. And then finally, I think it would be interesting to follow up with parents about their attitudes toward this type of media use and why they see it as an exception to their general guidelines. Thank you so much for your time. I also want to thank all the families who participated in this research, and I hope you find it as interesting as we did.